Hello, and welcome to another episode of AI in the Classroom Daily, a podcast helping educators make sense of AI without the hype. I'm Dan Cogan-Drew, and I use AI as a thinking partner in preparing each of these episodes because I think the best way to talk honestly about AI in education is to work with it openly. So before I get into today's topic, the organization I'm going to talk about, Student Achievement Partners, is one that Newsela has worked with as a curriculum development partner. So I just want to disclose that up front. So Student Achievement Partners, SAP, published a piece in December 2025 called AI is so hot right now, opportunities and cautions in literacy and math classrooms. SAP is a serious organization. It was central to the standards development work that shaped how literacy and math are taught in schools across the country. Their staff includes former classroom teachers, instructional coaches, and school leaders. They're not a technology company, and when they write about AI cautions, I think it's worth paying attention. Now, the piece covers a range of opportunities: personalization, multilingual support, reducing administrative burden for teachers. And then it gets to the cautions. There are a few, and I want to focus on one specifically because it's the one backed by the strongest research. The argument that they're making is that when students hand cognitive work off to an AI tool, asking it to draft, to solve, to summarize, students are missing the effort required to work through problems, revise writing, and synthesize information. The effort that they're missing is not just a means to an end. Research shows that it's the primary mechanism for learning. SAP cites a researcher named Manu Kapur who has been studying this for close to 20 years. Now, Kapur is currently a professor at ETH Zurich, where he directs the Future Learning Initiative. His core finding, replicated across 15 years of classroom research, is that students who struggle with a problem before receiving instruction consistently outperform students who receive instruction first. He calls this productive failure. And the mechanism is what I want to highlight here because it's what matters most. When you're asked to solve something you haven't been taught yet, you fail. But in the process, you activate everything you already know, you discover exactly where your understanding breaks down, and you become prepared to learn from instruction. The failure is preparation. When instruction arrives after the struggle, it has something to stick to. When AI provides the answer before that struggle has happened, the preparation doesn't occur. Students get the resolution without the readiness. The instruction, when it eventually comes, has less to work with, less to stick to. This is different from what we covered in episodes 25 and 26 on cognitive surrender. Cognitive surrender is what happens when a student accepts AI output without evaluating it. That's a problem after the AI has already entered the picture. What Kapur is describing is a problem before the AI enters. The thinking that would have prepared a student never occurs in the first place. It's the same student, the same assignment, but there's two different problems. So to be clear, not all AI use eliminates productive struggle. Bellwether published a report on this question in June 2025 titled Productive Struggle: How Artificial Intelligence is Changing Learning Effort and Youth Development in Education. I'm putting a link to it. It's free, and it's going to be in the show notes. They ask, when does ease enable greater learning? And when is ease a shortcut with a hidden cost? AI that poses questions, surfaces alternatives, or prolongs exploration can actually extend productive struggle. AI that delivers answers eliminates it. The design of the tool determines which one you get. What makes that distinction difficult in practice is that most AI tools are optimized for user satisfaction. It means that they're built to feel good to use. And the thing that feels good is getting an answer. A tool that responded to a student's question by saying, keep trying, here's another angle to consider, would feel worse than one that just solved the problem. So the incentive structure runs directly against the mechanism Kapur has spent 2 decades documenting. For classroom teachers, the question isn't whether to use AI, it's where in this sequence it enters relative to student thinking. If students are generating ideas, drafting, attempting, and then consulting AI, that sequence may preserve the struggle. If AI enters first, the sequence is inverted and the preparation that makes instruction stick gets skipped. For instructional coaches, this gives you something concrete to look for when you're observing. Not just whether AI is present, but when it enters. Where does the student thinking actually happen relative to the AI? That's the coaching frame. For district leaders, the commercial tools like GPT, Claude, Gemini that you're procuring will not have been designed with Kapur's research in mind. They were designed to be useful, which in the market means satisfying, which means delivering answers. That's not a specific critique of any one vendor. It's an incentive structure of the entire industry. It means that the question of whether a given tool preserves productive struggle is really a question that you're going to have to answer for yourself. The evaluative question is simple enough to use anywhere. Does this tool put the answer before the thinking, or does it help students think longer? If you can apply that to tools already in use, not just ones under consideration, it also gives you something concrete in professional development conversations. When teachers notice students using AI as a shortcut, that's often a sign the tool is entering before the thinking begins and not after. One note on the SAP piece, it's a blog post, not a study, and the Kapur research it points to is peer-reviewed and quite substantial. The 2008 and 2016 papers are both in the show notes, as is the Bellwether report. So the productive struggle argument points towards a bigger question that I've been working on about what happens when we design learning systems as if the loop can be fully closed, as if a well-designed system could account for everything that matters about a student's learning without needing a teacher to read the room. I don't think that's achievable, and I think designing as if it is causes specific predictable harm to specific students. That argument needs more than 10 minutes, so I'm going to develop it as a piece on Substack. Stay tuned for that. For today, I want to leave you with a real question. Are the AI tools in your school designed to preserve the friction that learning requires or to eliminate it? And more specifically, are you seeing AI bypass the struggle in your classroom or your building? Or are you seeing it used in ways that actually extend it? I would love your thoughts. I'd love your response and experience thinking about whether the AI in your building is helping students bypass the struggle or helping to extend the struggle in productive ways. Thanks as always for listening, and we'll see you next time.